How do we set boundaries with people when we disagree? If I asked you to describe the boundary of your home, you might describe your yard. You could explain where there's a fence around it, or if there's not a fence, maybe it's a stake or a rock that designates where your property ends and another person's property begins. Or if you live in an apartment or a condo, you might share a wall with someone. And you know that you can't simply take that wall out to extend your property and take away a part of another person's home. There are boundaries in place that define home for many of us. But when it comes to boundaries to protect ourselves, our hearts, our spirits, our emotions, those lines or fences aren't visible. They also aren't universal from you to me. And when it comes to figuring out how to live or be in relationship with people with whom we disagree, sometimes we need to figure out those boundaries. Jesus' commandment in Matthew about love reiterated that loving God was first and loving your neighbor as yourself was second. It implies that self-love is necessary in order for you to love your neighbor. So if you find yourself as the victim of abuse or discrimination, you might need to separate yourself from that person discriminating against or abusing you. And I pray that you have people in your life who can help stop those threats, who can help you love yourself again. Or if you're worried about someone else who needs to find those boundaries, reach out to them. Do not wait. Sometimes loving yourself or helping someone love themselves means setting aside all those other tips we've talked about in loving people we disagree with and working on your own boundaries for healing instead. Proverbs 4 says it this way, "My son, pay attention to what I say. Turn your ear to my words. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them within your heart. For they are life to those who find them and health to one's whole body. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." If you're in a season of needing to guard your heart, that's okay. If you have a loved one in need of guarding their hearts, help them through it. And while that loved one is working on their boundaries, just maybe you can be the one who's listening to the stories of the others you disagree with, of working to find empathy, and of asking questions that might change the perspectives of others in your life, or might change your own perspective as well.